3:16 there now on your screen. Is it showing? Yeah, there it is. Okay. John 3:16. Now, probably most people can say it by heart. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. This is probably the most famous verse in the whole Bible. Now, what does it mean here when it says begotten Son? Begotten. What do you usually think of when you think of begotten? I usually think of someone having a baby. That's what I usually think of. Let's see what the Strong's Concordance says about the Greek word used here. Begotten, G3439. And it shows here it's monogenes, and it means only born, i.e. soul. Mono means one, and genes, of course, is our genes, our DNA, I guess, if you will. The only one of that DNA is a soul. Only soul son, the only born son. And are there any other translations of this word? No, it does not show any. It's only begotten child. Okay. So mono is definitely one. That's we use it as monologue, monoxide. Mono is one definitely. So this only begotten son looks to be a pretty good translation. I believe it is. No reason to doubt that. Only begotten son. Okay. So that brings up the question, when was Jesus begotten? And this brings up many questions and debates and problems. And just this morning I saw a whole talk about this. Now, I have nothing to do with the anti-Trinity crowd. I think they are way off. In fact, I think they have probably committed the unpardonable sin. I mean, if you don't even believe in the Holy Spirit as a separate being, maybe the Holy Spirit cannot work on you anymore. I don't know, but that's very dangerous territory. And also, every anti-Trinitarian I've ever had interaction with, they put down Jesus as a little bit less than God. God and Jesus. How to explain this? That he was begotten. Well, he was begotten, I believe, on this day. Let's go to Galatians. Well, first let's go to the Old Testament. Let's go to the Old Testament in Psalms 2:7. Psalms 2:7. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. So is this talking about something that happened way in the past, like before this world was made? Or is this talking about something at the time of David when this was written? Or is this a prophecy of something in the future? If you read it, it sounds very clear that it's talking about when Jesus comes. The kings of the earth set themselves, and rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Well, this is obviously talking about in the future. To David's time, when he wrote this around 1000 BC. And of course, we see that Jesus has not yet broken all the nations with a rod of iron and dashed them in pieces like a potter's vessel. That's when he comes back at the second coming. I will declare the decree. The Lord has said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. And we haven't gotten much closer, but we have ruled out what the anti-Trinitarians say. They say this begotten happened when Jesus first came forth from the Father. In other words, they believe that Jesus did not have an existence at one point of time way in the past, and they can't explain time either because Jesus created time. But anyway, it happened way back in the past, and that Jesus then became the Son. He's not quite God, they say, but he's close. I don't believe that at all. I believe Jesus is fully the Son. He's always been God in the flesh. He's always been God. I'm sorry. He's always been God. And that this is a prophecy, and I believe that that day that he was begotten